Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Thursday. This is the Woo Report, episode 191, titled Fitzy Excited About the Second Overall Pick, as he should be. I'm excited. You're excited. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Thank you, Matthew. Loves the insight. Loves my insight. There's not much to it, Matthew, but thank you. Thank you for the compliments on YouTube Live. Facebook Live, Mike Rossi, happy Devils Thursday. Fitzy excited about the second overall pick. I'll tell you what. Sometimes I'd rather be lucky than good. Again, repeat. Sometimes I'd rather be lucky than good. Because the Devils weren't that good this season. There were good things to talk about in terms of Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt and some of the up-and-coming players, the Utica Comets. But overall, season sucked. But they got lucky again. Second overall pick, 2022 NHL entry draft. Now Tom Fitzgerald's got options. He has many options. Some fans want him to take a player. Some fans want him to trade down, which I don't think can happen in this year's draft. Some fans want him to trade for a goalie. Some fans want him to trade for a power forward, immediately contributing to your New Jersey Devils. Me personally, I think that this rebuild has gone long enough. You might as well keep on rebuilding. Keep that pipeline filled. Because Pavel Zacha, from that 2015 draft, that was like when Ray Shearer just got to New Jersey. You never know where he's going to go, but you got, if Zacha goes to another team, the Devils get value for him. I don't know, but just assuming that he leaves, you got to keep that pipeline flowing. That's how dynasties are built. The Devils have completely revamped the farm system, literally changed from Binghamton to Utica. They're having success, and why not keep the pipeline filled? I don't want to rush this rebuild. I know it's been a long time. People are going to say, Woo, you don't know what you're talking about. I probably don't, but this rebuild, you're already so far deep in it. You've already suffered for almost a decade. What's another draft pick going to hurt? It's not going to hurt to draft the best available player when you've got a top 5 pick like last season with Luke Hughes. The season before, top 10 pick. Or the draft before that with Alexander Holtz. Then getting a steal with Dawson Mercer at 18 via the Taylor Hall trade. And then taking a chance on Shakira Mohabbadullin. How you doing? Taking a chance on Chase Stillman. So we haven't seen some of these guys yet coming into the lineup. And I'll tell you. Just be a little bit more patient. I'm not going to say that the Devils are going to be the king of the hill next season. I still will stick to my guns, what I said 6 months ago. Well, I'm not 6 months ago. 4 months ago, it's going to take to 2025. 2025, before it's all said and done, that we've got ourselves a team to talk about and brag about. Right now, Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier are flourishing under Lindy Ruff. I know some harsh words were said when I doubled down and I said Lindy deserves another year. I didn't say Lindy is going to be the coach for the next decade. I said he deserves another year. The first year really didn't count. It was all COVID. It was just a mess. The NHL format wasn't even the same. It's just, okay, mulligan first year. Second year, which is his past year, okay, now we can start holding Lindy accountable. Defensively, had its good moments, rarely, but had some good moments when they played the NFZ. They did have a streak of good penalty killing. But my goodness, the special teams on the other side, on the power play, giving up all those chances. Nope. Got to improve on that. But Lindy was really brought in to develop those young players like Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier. I'll tell you what, you got to admit, although you can't really compare apples and oranges, I think Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes are developing much better under Lindy Ruff than John Hines. And that's a big step forward. You got to take baby steps here. It's a process. Okay, Jack Hughes got hurt a couple times, but he was basically producing a point a game. Nico Hischier showing why he's captain at such a young age. He's learning to lead this team, and he's learning to lead by example. Notice that Nico Hischier has those moments where the Devils are down 4-0, and suddenly Nico Hischier scores. Nico Hischier is the guy that will get this team to play serious. Defensively, Damon Severson, will he stay long term? I think he senses there's something special here. He's already said publicly that he wants to be in New Jersey. But will the economics and will the business side allow that? Would you want Damon Severson here long term? An original Devil from the start of his career. And I'll tell you, that's a hard decision to make. The economics may not be in his favor because there is a thing called the salary cap, and the Devils have a lot of players that eventually are going to need to be paid. Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier locked up long term, but there's going to be other players that are going to need to be locked up long term. And that's why you got to keep that pipeline flowing of young talent. Excuse me. That's why we have the cough button here on the podcast, especially when you're going solo. Anyway, that's for the people watching the live feed. Podcast feed, after the podcast, which we drop at midnight for your morning commute. Anyway, getting back to the topic at hand, that's why you keep the pipeline flowing, folks. You keep sowing the seeds, and hopefully they germinate. And then one day with the New Jersey Devils, when they are a playoff contender, and Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier are perennial all-stars. And then you've got players like Dawson Mercer. You've got eventually Luke Hughes, hopefully, defensively. You've got Dougie Hamilton locked up long term. Maybe Ryan Graves will be here long term. Who knows? And then maybe a goaltender that will save the day on any given night and steal a couple games here and there. You're going to love that pipeline when whoever this second overall pick may be. It's anyone's guess. Or what trade that may come of it. or whatever, that pipeline's going to be filled. And it's going to be filled with joy once this pipeline is flowing with prospects, which will arm the Devils very well when the salary cap, maybe one day when the Devils are up at the salary cap and they may have to make the hard decisions, knowing that they could go with less expensive players, young players, moving forward. I mean, we want to see a perennial Stanley Cup contender. And it's not built overnight. I mean, that Devils team that had a good 20-year run had the losing of they were losing in the 80s. They were losing in the franchise before the Colorado Rockies. It took time to build. And that's what's happening here, folks. Now, I know some of you are negative because I'm negative too at sometimes. I still don't trust this ownership group. I don't trust them with anything. But at the end of the day, they're paying the bills. The team's still here in New Jersey. They're not perfect. We're not perfect either as fans. But hopefully they'll get it right. They better. And Tom Fitzgerald, back at the topic at hand, he's excited, as he should be after a season like this. And read an article, NHL.com, trying to pull it up. And Tom Fitzgerald said, quote, "My job is to improve this hockey club. Thank you, Captain Obvious, Tommy Fitz. Not just for the near future, but for the long term, to become a Stanley Cup contending team year after year. Kind of like what the Pittsburgh Penguins are. Since drafting Marc-Andre Fleury in 2003, then obviously Sidney Crosby in 2005, the mysterious lottery ball that somehow landed to Pittsburgh, Evgeny Malkin, Jordan Staal, remember those draft picks? And then with a little help of Grandma's slot machine arm, they got themselves a new arena for Mario Lemieux. And you got to give the Penguins credit. They won 3 Stanley Cups out of it. Total of 5 of the franchise. One more than Mario Lemieux, but Mario Lemieux was involved as an owner with 5 Stanley Cups in franchise history. That's pretty impressive. Very impressive. And of course, I'm going to talk well about the Pittsburgh Penguins because I hope they beat those New York Rangers for Game 6. Because I think a lot of us fans, I'll admit it, my season's not over till it's either the Devils eliminated or those other guys are eliminated. Just one more game, the Rangers are out, hopefully. Nothing to worry about, hopefully. So Tom Fitzgerald excited that we hit the lottery. That's what the headline says on NHL.com. Said Mark Dennehy along with Paul Castron have dissected and they've done their job in terms of scouting. I think the part that we'll see and you'll hear is there's a lot of players that have similar projections, similar upsides, different positions, and that's what we're going to make this decision hard. Because there is no slam dunk. Because there are a bunch of really good hockey players that we can add to our stables. See, I like that. I like that attitude. Okay? You're just adding to the farm system. So that's a good problem to have. But Mark, Paul, and their staff will figure this out. Oh, they better. They better. There's a body of work. There's an evaluation, projection for every single player in the draft that our scouts are tasked to do, said Fitzgerald. There seems to be a lot the same projected upside with a bunch of these players. That's what makes it difficult to figure out which one fits us and which one's going to be the one with the highest upside. It's a delicate balance, really. A drafting with needs and drafting with best available. The lucky ones get the best of both worlds. I think Jack Hughes was one example, getting first overall pick. It helped with the need and it helped with best available. But we shall see. My job is to improve this hockey club, is what Tom Fitzgerald said. And I thought that was pretty funny in the end of the article. When Fitzgerald uses the pick or trades it, the Devils organization is thrilled with the outcome of the 2022 NHL Draft Lottery, including Devils head coach Lindy Ruff, according to New Jersey's GM. The entire organization is thrilled, said Fitzgerald. Ruff did text me telling me to stop looking so stern on TV. Ha ha ha. Well, you know what? I'm glad you look so stern on TV, Tom Fitzgerald, because we expect winning very soon. Although I don't think it's going to come to 2025. But this second overall pick, I'm not saying what's going to happen is going to be the end all be all, but I think it's going to start to put the Devils over the top. They need a power forward. They need a sniper. They need a goaltender. They need some beef on defense. And what I mean by beef on defense is they need a stopper. I think Jonas Siegenthaler has done a great job. I think he was quite surprised. I think Ryan Graves, again, the tandem with Dougie Hamilton. I think when Dougie Hamilton went out with injury, it just wasn't the same player. Cooley has been projected as the highest upside, according to Getty27 on YouTube Live. Slavkovsky, if that's how you pronounce it, Fitzy need. I go with the best available. The best available. And I think that's the way the Devils should go. I don't care if it's another centerman. You keep that pipeline flowing. Because eventually some of these pieces could be valuable trade assets to get a veteran player in their prime to New Jersey to put us into the playoffs at the very least. These picks are people. But I'll tell you, second overall, I'm not saying that I would forgive the Devils for this past season, but hey, at least it's better than getting hosed and screwed when the Rangers got first overall for Alexei Lafreniere, and the Devils were down to 8 or 7 or 8, and they got Alexander Holtz, which I'm not happy about, but hey, it's the principle of it. Like, what the heck were the Rangers? They had no business getting the first overall pick. It's not just over the leapfrogging over the Devils, but the other teams as well. But then again, when you look in 2017 and the Devils get the first overall pick and the Flyers have the second overall pick, but somehow Colorado gets Cale Makar, and they kind of look like the genius then. It's amazing how things turn out in the end. And the NHL, the pundits are saying that this year's draft is no generational player. Well, generational player is only supposed to come once a generation. So this is just like any other ordinary draft. Who would ever thought that 2017 draft with the first 5 picks turn out to be excellent picks? Are they game-changing for the league? I'm not sure, but they're great players. And the Devils, either way, is going to get a great player. And you betcha that, you know what? you got to trust Tom Fitzgerald here. So far, the picks that he's made with the Devils draft pick, forget about the extra picks that he got. Because he took more of a risk on those picks, with the exception of Dawson Mercer. But Alexander Holtz, Luke Hughes, these are good picks. And whoever the second overall pick, whether it's Logan Cooley, could it be Shane Wright? Could he be the right pick? What is Montreal going to do? Montreal, well, you know what? Montreal, they may be wheeling dealing themselves. Who knows? Probably not. But either way, you should be excited about the second overall pick. Like I said, I'd rather be lucky than good. Devils weren't that good, but guess what? They got lucky here, and you know what? Enjoy it, my friends. You deserve this pick. Devils fans, you deserve this second overall pick. And later, we will go over who we think, what Tom Fitzgerald should do with this pick. There's going to be debate about it, but I think in the end, you know how the Devils marketing, they're going to hype it up. They're going to have that pick come with that third jersey on, that ugly thing, and just put it on. And it's like, yeah, I'm in Jersey. Yeah. All right. All right, I want to thank all those participating today. You've made this the past week. I couldn't believe it. We're in the off season. And I was actually telling Chico Resch this a couple days ago, saying that, Chico, since the season's been over, it seems like this kind of weird that the fans have been interested again. Nick Villano of pucksandpitchforks.com, the editor-in-chief, who also does this fine programming called the State of Fan Address, also told me, we see a spike in numbers. Numbers. The podcast, pucksandpitchforks.com. Fans are excited again. That's a good sign that you guys never left us. Just you took a little break from the narrative of more losing. This guy should get fired. That guy should get fired. This player should be traded, whatever. As soon as that season ended, we saw a spike in numbers, and we're happy about it. And thank you. Thank you for making this podcast go. Because without you, I don't know where we'd be, to be honest with you. That's why we have to console each other when the Devils were losing and all that jazz. Well, let me tell you, the exciting times are ahead. There's going to be still bumps in the road, for sure. But at some point, something's got to give, right? At some point. Think 2025, my friends. Think 2025. I know it's 3 years away. But 3 years from now, we could be in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Jack Hughes, DeHeesher. Back to Dougie Hamilton, one-timer, shoot, scores! And the Devils knock out the New York Rangers in the semifinals. Wouldn't that be something? And we're going to have a pipeline, a dynasty, because we're going to have that youth movement flow through Utica into New Jersey. Utica Comets playing this Saturday for Game 2. Keep it here, keep it real. All things Devils. This is the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.